Before we devour this large helping of title race action, can I once again highlight a sumo danger and ask that your thoughts be with 28-year-old Hibikiryu. The younger colleague of Myogiryu and Sadanoumi entered this Division 4 bout as normal and exited anything but. What began as a straightforward battle for an inside scoop took a quite literal nasty turn when Hibikiryu became airborne and entered a dive. You can see how all of his 150 kilos will land, and I'll leave the rest to your imagination. He then lay, face first and nose squashed in sand, stone still, and what followed, I kid you not, were the most spine-chilling moments I can ever remember in that hall, with the ringside team acting as if they had far more time than they did. Despite the poor man's unconscious state, it took 3 minutes for a stretcher to arrive, and another 3 to get him on it. After a white-coated doctor unhurriedly arrived, I'd say 4 minutes in, to check for reactions we all knew weren't coming. Crowd members were shouting out advice, and honestly, I had my hands clasped in prayer. The latest is that he made it to hospital and is able to speak, but, at present, numb from the neck down. We hope somehow it was just a mild trauma. Although an immensely strong boy, Hibikiryu really needs our support tonight. And sumo needs a Takakeisho force push to ensure we never see such things again. Okay, back to the more fortunate wrestlers. Day 13 saw all 4 lower division titles decided. 18-year-old Murayama taking Division 6, January's Division 6 champion Atami Fuji topping Division 5, and 215-kilo Koma no Kuni claiming Division 4, his first professional honor in 15 years. We'll look at them in more detail post-tournament. What you're really hoping to see, I can tell, is Toki Sakae, the first man to topple giant Hokuseiho, right? Especially once I mention he's vying for the title with Abi. And Abi becomes champion with his far superior strength. Nice and simple, push and pull. I was warned by coach and stablemates that winning at this level was not a given, said the prodigal son. That's why I faced each match with everything I had, and rediscovered the joy of being able to compete. Such comments feel highly forced, but avoiding interview pratfalls is a short-term goal of his. Should Abi use his newfound freedom to walk 50 meters right of his stable, he will get a clear view of Otake Stable, home of Taiho's grandson Oho. He was going for his second salaried promotion today, possibly at the expense of opponent Nishiki Fuji. And the Taiho-esque smile tells us Oho feels he's grown. He's had many a back-first landing from throws like that, but this time he rescues balance with a clever press of the thigh, which dislodges Nishiki's left foot from throwing position. And the youngster doesn't let up, seeking an immediate reversal and inside right, from which his mammoth arm scoops to victory. Remember his emphasis on grappling at the interstable sessions, even though he's a thruster. That's for bouts like today's. I was calm in the grapple and fired up overall, was how Oho described it. I honestly felt I'd be set back a whole year if I lost, and that I'd even risk injury to win. He really wants that first pro bout with Koto Shoho, doesn't he? 3 men currently lead the second division, whose final third is largely unwatchable. For the record, my money's on Takagenji to take the title. In Division 1, Chionokuni today withdrew, having broken his right thumb and a left rib. The thumb, we know, has been taped all tournament. The rib has only been taped since yesterday. And, Rewatching the Okinomi match I showed you on Tuesday, we see he clearly feels it both when falling and leaving the ring. He reached his rank-improving 8th win yesterday. That must have been his cue to rest. Tsurugisho claimed he'd waited years for a default win. His first, handing him the Division 2 crown in January. His second, today, keeping him in Division 1. The top division denouement, as you may know, became hugely interesting. Leader Takayasu was up first against rising star Wakataka Kage, who led their head-to-head 2-1. Before that, Taka handed symbolic power water to the man whose arm lock cost him Ozeki, then watched him fight the man who ruined his previous title shot, Mitake Umi. 2 images an already tense Takayasu could have done without. How would his mind cope? And Wakataka Kage is on fire. He really could be an Ozeki. This parry here is key. Takayasu's sure he's won it and puts the right foot forward for the final shove, but Waka, who must have practiced this, slips free with a parry and backward dart of the neck in tandem. Even here, Takayasu has the right idea, and in just the way he used to beat Kakuryu, opens himself out majestically for the crossbody throw. Armlock will do. But just needs an extra 6 inches for firmer footing. Instead, those toes that he really needs to dig into the clay mount the rope and he doesn't have the traction. I held firm with thrusts and stayed on constant guard for his slapdown attempts. Puffed 9-win Waka. He's eyeing a first Sanyaku berth. Takayasu, who declined interview, is looking at a Day 14 match with Tobizaru, who brashly kicked him to ground last time. It should be a cracker. Takayasu's 2 challengers then took their turns to try and wipe out his lead. Asanoyama in the tournament's first all-Ozeki affair against newly safe Ozeki Taka Keisho. And Asanoyama stayed a win behind, his dogged attempt to end this throat hold with a parry, triggering a slip of the right foot, in turn causing him to jump for the nearest foothold with his body leaning fatally forward. Technically, far better than in his last match with Keisho, but choking when it mattered again. Few expected Terunofuji to falter against an out-of-sorts Shodai in the finale, and he didn't, with a drive described by Chairman Hakkaku as his best of the tournament. Takayasu will be hoping Teru loses to Asanoyama tomorrow, only he's never lost to him. Whatever happens there, this race, like the last few, is definitely going to the wire. Which petal can cling on the longest? Act 3, Scene 4, tomorrow.